Hi, I'm Arabella. When my daughter Lily was born 8 weeks premature, I thought our biggest challenge would be getting her strong enough to come home. I never imagined I'd need to protect her from someone I trusted. She's doing great today, Nurse Valerie said, checking Lily's vitals. Blood oxygen is up 2 points from yesterday. That's amazing news, I replied, touching Lily's tiny hand through the incubator port. When do you think we might be able to try kangaroo care again? Let me check with Dr. Matthews, but I don't see why not tomorrow if these numbers hold. I've been reading that skin-to-skin contact is crucial for preemies, I said. I feel so helpless just sitting here. You're doing everything right, Valerie reassured me. Your constant presence alone is helping her thrive. I'm lucky my boss let me work remotely. I'd sleep here if they'd let me. And that dedication shows. Trust me, the staff notices who's here and who isn't. Dr. Matthews poked his head in. Miss Johnson, good to see you. Remarkable progress for day 12. Nurse Clarissa will be taking over Valerie's shift soon. That's great. I'm planning to stay until about 7 tonight. Valerie lingered after he left. Clarissa's particular about how things are run. Don't let her intimidate you. What do you mean? Nothing specific. Valerie lowered her voice. Just that some nurses develop strong opinions about how parents should behave. Should I be concerned? I asked, suddenly uneasy. Just document anything unusual. She's technically excellent, one of our most experienced nurses. My phone buzzed, my best friend Maya checking in. Girl, how's our little fighter today? Maya asked when I stepped into the hallway. Better. Her numbers are improving. They think maybe tomorrow I can hold her again. That's fantastic. I'm bringing dinner tonight. No arguments. A sharp alarm from the NICU cut me off. I rushed back in to find a nurse with immaculate gray-streaked hair pulled into a severe bun standing over Lily's incubator. What happened? I demanded. Equipment malfunction, she stated coolly. I've reset it. Are you the mother? Yes, I'm Arabella. Are you Clarissa? Nurse Henderson, she corrected, eyes narrowing. The baby's readings dropped momentarily. Were you just on the phone in the hallway? I stepped out for just a minute to... The NICU requires attention and sterile conditions, she interrupted. Cell phones carry significant bacteria. I know the protocols. I always sanitize and... Rules exist for a reason, Miss Johnson. Premature infants are extremely vulnerable. Over the next week, every interaction with Nurse Henderson was tense. She found fault with everything. How I sanitized my hands, when I visited, even how I spoke to Lily. You need to document this, Maya insisted during dinner at my apartment. Something's not right with that woman. Maybe she's just old school. Dr. Matthews speaks highly of her experience. Experience doesn't equal compassion, Maya countered. And the way she looks at you, that's personal. She made another comment today about my inconsistent visiting hours. I explained I was meeting with a pediatric specialist. What am I supposed to do? Complain that a nurse doesn't like me? No, you document every weird thing. Trust your instincts. I didn't realize how right Maya was until I arrived early one morning and saw Nurse Henderson alone by Lily's incubator. Something about her movements seemed furtive. As I watched, she checked over both shoulders before reaching toward the control panel. Hey, called a male voice behind me. Daniel, a nurse I'd befriended. You're here bright and early. When I turned back, Henderson was simply checking Lily's chart. Daniel, have you worked with Nurse Henderson long? His usually cheerful face clouded. Clarissa, about 5 years. Why? Has she ever had issues with parents before? Daniel glanced around. Look, Clarissa's technically excellent, but she's had complaints. Nothing that stuck. Why? I saw her doing something to Lily's incubator when she thought no one was watching. Before I could continue, my phone chimed. Need to talk about NH. Meet me at cafeteria, 10 a.m. Valerie. She's done this before, Valerie said, her hands wrapped tightly around a coffee cup. Targeted certain mothers, usually single parents or those with addiction history. But I don't fit those categories, I countered. No, but you're young, and your partner isn't in the picture. That's enough for her. What exactly do you think she's doing? I asked, dreading the answer. Creating crises so she can solve them, Valerie said, lowering her voice. Making babies seem sicker than they are. Are you saying she's deliberately endangering babies? Nothing's ever been proven. She's careful and she's protected. Her sister-in-law is on the hospital board. Then why tell me this? Because last year, a baby died. Official cause was complications, but I had doubts. Valerie pulled out her phone. I've been documenting patterns in her shifts against infant distress events. Have you shown this to anyone? Dr. Matthews dismissed it as statistical noise. But look, last Wednesday when I left and she took over, your daughter's oxygen levels dropped suddenly. That's when the alarm went off, I whispered. She blamed me for being on the phone. Classic deflection. Make the parent feel guilty so they don't question what really happened. Daniel joined us. I overheard your conversation yesterday. I've had concerns too. Valerie looked skeptical. You've never said anything. Because I've been building a case, Daniel replied. After what happened to the Santiago baby last year? I was there that night, Daniel continued. Everything was stable when I left. An hour later, code blew. By the time I returned for my next shift, the baby was gone. And Henderson was there? She's the one who called the code. Everyone praised her quick response, but something felt wrong. You think she was responsible? I asked. Daniel nodded. I've placed a small camera in the teddy bear on my desk. It has a view of the NICU floor. He showed us a clip of Nurse Henderson at Lily's incubator, looking around before pressing several buttons. Moments later, she responded to an alarm, reset it, and made a note. She's creating emergencies to be the hero who resolves them, Daniel explained. Classic Munchausen by proxy behavior. We need to take this to security, I insisted. Not yet, Valerie cautioned. We need more concrete evidence. So what do we do? I can't leave my daughter with her. I've adjusted my schedule to overlap with Henderson's shifts, Daniel said. And keep the camera running, but you need to be vigilant. And set up your own monitoring, Valerie added. Get a baby monitor with video capability. That afternoon, I returned with a high-definition baby monitor disguised as a stuffed elephant. With Dr. Matthews' permission, I positioned it near the incubator. By evening, Maya and I watched the feed. Henderson moved efficiently around the NICU, checking babies. This is so boring, Maya sighed after 2 hours. Maybe we're overreacting. Near midnight, the NICU quieted. Henderson checked that no other staff were present, then approached Lily's incubator. She looked at the monitors, then reached behind the machine. What is she doing? Maya whispered. On screen, Henderson spoke to my sleeping daughter. Let's see if Mommy really cares about you. If she's paying attention, she'll notice something's wrong. Then, deliberately, she turned a dial and flipped a switch on the incubator control panel. The monitor showed Lily's oxygen levels dropping. She's turning it off, I screamed, grabbing my keys. Call hospital security now! I ran into the NICU with security guards and the night supervisor behind me. Alarms were blaring, Lily's monitors showing dangerous vitals, and Nurse Henderson calmly stabilizing the situation. What are you doing here? She demanded. Step away from my daughter, I ordered. Miss Johnson, you can't burst in here. Your daughter is experiencing respiratory distress. I'm handling it. After causing it, I accused. I saw you turn off her oxygen. Henderson's face hardened. That's a ridiculous accusation. Mr. Peterson, she addressed security, this mother is clearly hysterical. I'm not hysterical, I'm furious, I corrected. I have video of you deliberately tampering with my daughter's incubator. Video? That's preposterous. Recording in the NICU is against policy. So is attempted murder, I shot back, my voice trembling with rage. Which is exactly what you've been doing. Henderson's eyes widened slightly. You have no evidence of anything improper. I've been saving this infant from a respiratory episode. An episode you created? I moved closer, despite the security guard's restraining hand. How many times have you done this? How many parents have you terrorized? You don't understand the responsibility we bear. Henderson replied, her voice suddenly eerily calm. Some parents aren't ready. Some babies need advocates who truly understand their needs. And you think you're that advocate? I challenged. By putting them in danger? The night supervisor, Dr. Winters, moved forward. Nurse Henderson, I need to check the equipment. There's no time. This infant needs immediate attention, Henderson insisted. Other staff can attend to the baby, Dr. Winters countered. Step aside, please. You're making a terrible mistake, Henderson warned, clutching her clipboard to her chest. I'm the most experienced nurse in this unit. Daniel already called Dr. Matthews, I informed them. He's reviewing the footage right now. Uncertainty flashed across Henderson's face. What footage? From my monitor and Daniel's camera. We saw you turn down Lily's oxygen. We've been tracking your incidents for weeks. Henderson's mask slipped. You have no idea what you're talking about. Some people don't deserve to be parents. And you decide who's worthy? I challenged. What happened to the Santiago baby? Did you decide that mother wasn't worthy either? That child would have grown up neglected, Henderson hissed. I saved him from suffering. The room fell silent at her confession. Clarissa, Dr. Winters said, step away from the incubator now. You don't understand what I see every day, Henderson continued. Mothers who can barely care for themselves, let alone a fragile infant. Someone has to protect these children. By endangering them? I asked incredulously. How does that protect anyone? I create manageable emergencies, she insisted. Controlled situations that reveal a parent's true character. These babies need protection, Henderson continued. Their mothers don't even stay with them. You, she pointed at me, always on your phone, leaving whenever it gets difficult. I was working to support my daughter, I countered, making arrangements for her homecoming. Dr. Matthews arrived with hospital security and police officers. Clarissa Henderson, one officer stated, step away from the infant. This is absurd, Henderson protested. I've devoted my life to saving babies. By deciding which ones deserve to live? Dr. Matthews asked coldly. We've reviewed the footage. This isn't the first time. I was testing the emergency response systems, Henderson claimed. By turning them off? I challenged. My daughter could have died. She would have been fine. I always intervene before permanent damage occurs. Except with the Santiago baby, Dr. Matthews said quietly. That was different. Henderson's voice faltered. The mother was a teenager, a drug addict. The baby was better off. Better off dead? Dr. Matthews demanded. Who gave you that right? Henderson lunged toward me. You ungrateful little... I was helping you, testing if you deserved her. Security restrained her as she ranted. You don't know what these children need. I'm the only one who truly cares. Dr. Winters and a specialist checked Lily's vitals and restored proper settings. Your daughter will be fine, Dr. Matthews assured me. There's no indication of lasting effects. How many other babies were put at risk because no one questioned her? I asked. Dr. Matthews had no answer. 6 months later, I sat in court, Lily sleeping peacefully beside me. The trial had revealed 27 infants deliberately placed in distress, 3 with permanent complications, and 2 who didn't survive. The defendant will please rise, the judge instructed. Clarissa Henderson stood, her prison jumpsuit a stark contrast to her former nursing uniforms. Miss Henderson, the jury has found you guilty on all counts. Do you wish to make a statement? Henderson looked at me. I only did what was necessary. These children deserved mothers who would fight for them. But I did notice, I said, standing despite my lawyer's warning. The judge allowed my interruption. I noticed, I repeated. And Valerie noticed. And Daniel noticed. The system you manipulated eventually caught you. You should be thanking me, Henderson insisted. Your daughter is alive because I made you prove you deserved her. No. Lily is alive despite your attempts to harm her. She'll never remember you, but you'll spend your life remembering her. The baby who ended your crusade. I was doing God's work. Someone needed to test these mothers. That's enough, the judge interrupted. I sentence you to life imprisonment without parole. The Santiago family sat in the row behind me, the mother's eyes meeting mine with shared understanding when the verdict was read. Thank you for being brave enough to stop her, Mrs. Santiago whispered. You saved other families from going through what we did. I wish someone had caught her sooner, I replied, squeezing her hand. For your son's sake. His name was Miguel, she said softly. Don't let them forget him in all this. I won't, I promised. His story is part of why Henderson was finally stopped. Outside the courthouse, I faced reporters with Lily in my arms. Daniel and Valerie stood nearby. Miss Johnson, how do you feel about the verdict? A reporter asked. Justice was served, I replied. But it doesn't change what happened to Miguel Santiago or the others. Will you continue the civil case against Memorial Hospital? Absolutely. Their negligence allowed Henderson's behavior to continue for years. That systemic failure needs to be addressed. What changes are you hoping to see? Better monitoring systems, proper investigation of parent concerns, accountability for staff at all levels. No family should have to install their own surveillance to keep their child safe in a hospital. That evening, Dr. Matthews called. The hospital board has approved comprehensive monitoring and complaint investigation protocols. Your case directly influenced these reforms. That's good to hear, I replied. The Santiago family asked me to extend an invitation to their memorial service for Miguel next weekend. I thought about the mother whose loss had indirectly saved my daughter. Tell them I'll be there. 1 year later, I stood at a podium addressing a conference of hospital administrators and medical professionals. The Parents' Right to Monitor Act, nicknamed Miguel and Lily's Law, had just passed in our state, ensuring parents' rights to use monitoring devices in all pediatric units. What happened to my daughter and to Miguel Santiago wasn't just about one disturbed nurse, I told them. It was about a system that valued hierarchy over accountability, that dismissed parents' concerns as mere anxiety. When we place blind trust in authority without transparency, we create the perfect environment for abuse. After my speech, a young couple approached me with their tiny daughter. We heard you speak last year, the father said. It inspired us to question our daughter's care when things didn't seem right. The doctors found a misdiagnosis that could have been fatal, the mother added. Your story saved our baby's life. Looking down at Lily sleeping in my arms that night, I whispered, Your story will help protect other babies. That's our real revenge, making sure what happened to you never happens again. Lily's tiny hand wrapped around my finger in her sleep, a perfect reminder of what I'd fought to keep. How far would you go to protect your child? What systems would you challenge? I never imagined becoming an activist for hospital safety, but now I can't imagine being anything else. Because when the unthinkable happens, the choice isn't whether to fight, it's how.